Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone. Thank you for joining me on whatever day this is that you're watching it or listening to the podcast. I hope you're having a good time. I hope everything's going well for you. What else? Yeah, that's it. Today we're gonna smoke in the Stundenglas. We're smoking Cuban Links by Nugs because it's a nice sativa. I like it. It's very like citrusy and lemony, but it's a nice up ride. As long as you don't have too much. If you have too much, I kind of greened out one day, having like 4 or 5 shots of it in a row. It was a little much. And then in the joint today, which I rolled from bud, is going to be Colossal Pineapple by... Shit, who is this by? Highway Cannabis, I think? Let's see here. I ripped off the top so I couldn't tell. Highway 8 Cannabis. I think they're a craft company. I don't know if they're still around, though. Hopefully they are, because I'm curious to see what this tastes like. It was gifted to me a while back, and I never got around to trying it. And like one of the most recent podcasts said, I was cleaning out my little stash booth, my stash cabinet, and I found it. So I thought, you know what, we'll try and smoke that today. Yeah. So that's what we got going on. I think it's a sativa. It doesn't really say. It's 28%. Just bring that back again. It's 28%. It's got 0.57% CBD. It's a 2.476 terpene profile or percentage. Osamine and farnesene are the two dominant terps. And what we're smoking is roughly about, let's say, a gram. Maybe 0.7. Enough to give you a taste of it. I always like to try 0.7 to a gram to try it. Dog's walking around upstairs. That's all I can fucking hear. It's really annoying right now. So we're going to try that because I was thinking I want to get a little silly because I've been watching a lot of dog videos on TikTok. And they're like the ones where the people do the voiceovers and they like, you know, the dog's trying to get food or whatever. And the guy's all like, come on, mom, you know, that kind of thing. I love those things. Those things make me laugh ridiculously hard. Okay. I spent one whole night for like probably 3 hours just watching these things till I cried. Of course, I was smoking a little bit of the Nugs Cuban Link, so that obviously helped with the giggles. It was a good time. But I was watching a bunch last night, and then I saw one where a bison, because it's rutting, the caption was rutting season, and then it was a person on a road where a bunch of, like a herd of bison were walking over the road, and then one bison is like at the back of the pack being all like straggly. He's a straggler, you know, and another bison from the middle of the pack is like, no, fuck you, dude, and he came running back and he just plows through this other bison and sends him flying off the road, right? And of course, watching all these things, and my stupid brain goes, I wonder if animals have people voices. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they don't. Okay, let's just preface that. But I was thinking, in that moment when that bison came like plowing across the road, right? Did the one bison, was he walking across the road just being like, hump-da-dump-da-dump, what a great day, dope-a-dope-a-dope, you know? And then the other bison's like, not today, Frank! And he just like, right across the road, and then pow, knocks the other bison or buffalo back into the field on the other side of the road because he doesn't want him to get near the potential for his ladies, seeding it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Because, like, so you know how language is funny to me, right? Like, my vocabulary sucks. I know this. I recognize it every time I rewatch, like, edit one of these podcasts. Because, like, I need to read more. I've been saying this a lot lately, and I have been. I read a book in 3 days the other day. But I gotta read more books. I gotta read on a more consistent basis and a more of a variety. Because like at Christmas I was reading a stock book. It got a little too technical, so I said screw that. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I'm amazed by language. Because if you watch my girlfriend and I, we're very loud people. I'm probably less loud. I think she would agree with that. Oh no, maybe I'm setting myself up for some bad news here, but I think I'm less loud, but I can be. I'm very loud. I'm less loud around her, but I'm always known as like the loud one, in the group. When I drink, I get super fun. There's no like angry in me in terms of when I'm drinking or inebriated, but I definitely get loud and try to have a really good time. And I've always been known as the loud one. So one of the things that I find funny is because her and I feed off each other, I think, and we get louder and louder as we sort of like, maybe if we're out drinking, we both get loud and it looks like we're mad at each other, screaming and yelling at each other, but like we're not at all. We're just conversing. And then I started like I've seen other languages, like a lot of Eastern European languages. It looks like you're screaming and yelling at each other when you're not really, and especially like German sounds so angry. But that could just be because history history has made it like ingrained in our DNA that like we should be very aware of that language if we hear it. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, I'm just saying. It's like Italians are, and especially like US, like New York Italians, there's this very like stereotypical, hey, I'm part Italian, and a lot of my relatives, the volume when you were listening to them talk would just like, it would start out nice, like, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. How's your year been? Because we haven't seen you in a long time. And then it just escalates and escalates and escalates until they're like yelling and screaming at each other, but they're just having a conversation. And then of course you add in red wine or any kind of booze and you're off to the races. You know what I'm saying? So it got me thinking, do animals have that voice in their head? Is it an animal voice? Like if there's a cow going moo, in their brain, does it go moo and then they go moo? And also, do they have different like sounding voices? Because all moos to me sound the same, unless like they're barking or like mooing and like repetitively mooing. Maybe like the octave changes a little, but overall their animal voices all sound the same to me. Like one, well, I guess not with dogs. With dogs, there's like squeaky dogs, there's loud deep dogs, there's like intimidating bark dogs where they have a lot of bass in their voice, like so I want to know. I'm sure I could look it up, but I don't care. We're smoking weed and talking this shit right here. That's what we're doing. All right, I'm gonna light this. What is it called? Colossal Pineapple from Highway 8 Cannabis. We're going to try this out. Let's smoke it. So if you got one, hit it up if you're not smoking already. I also went back to the glass tips because I'm tired of that cardboard fucking filter, dude. Excuse me. A little piece went through. Yuck. Doesn't taste very pineapple-y yet. It's a nice burn. All right, we'll see what happens as we go through this. So I wanted to know, because my brain, when I saw that bison get tossed across the road, my brain had one voice for the bison that went flying. He was kind of like, whoa, and then there was another voice for the one that did it, and then like they both had names. Howard was the one that went flying into a field, and Frank was the one that did the ejecting. And it sounded a lot like this. Get the fuck out of here, Howard. And then Howard going, why, Frank? Why? And then so my brain comes up with voices for the brains of the animals that I'm watching. And it makes me wonder if animals, like I have a dog, I have an American Bully, and I wonder if her voice in her head is a dog. Like I wonder if she's looking at me like, and then in her brain it's like, hey stupid, I'm hungry now, can you feed me, can you put food in my bowl? But like it's weird because like I want to come up with a good voice, but like she's a she. So to me, she's got to have a she voice. But I feel like because she's an American bully, she would have one of those like raspy biker chick voices, where it's like, hey, but not that manly. Like, hey, that one sounds trashy. My dog is not trashy. Okay, she's a princess. She's not really. She's very bitey. Like, not bitey in terms of trying to like bite and hurt you, but when she plays, she likes to give you little nips, like they don't hurt, they don't puncture generally. And I know you can maybe sit there going, oh, that's training. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe she just likes playing rough with me because like I try to wear her out because that dog has a lot of energy, but it's in spurts, which I think is a good reason for why I like her. Because when I played sports, I was really fast. My coaches for football always said, like, you're the fastest 5-meter runner on the planet. But after those 5 yards, sorry, because it's football, 5 yards, you're the fastest 5-yard runner on the planet. But then after that 5 yards, you're pretty well screwed. My dog's like that. She'll barrel down the road and then just gets to the ends like, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to sit here for 20 minutes. And then she'll sit for 20 minutes and then she'll fly around the block again. She likes to pull. She likes to pretend to, I think, kill rabbits because I have this like Kong bone. And I wonder in her brain when she's playing with this bone and just firing away on it, is she like, I'm going to kill you, you silly bone? Like, oh, maybe that's her voice. Maybe a little more treble in there, but kind of like that, like Grover. It's like Grover. Hello. What are you doing, Bone? It's time to rip you apart. That's what I think she sounds like. I know it sounds dumb, but I don't think you come to Thoughts Off the Stem for for learning. Okay, this joint has a little bit of a sweetness to it. It's a little dry because I've had it for some time. But the smoke is still good. Like, it doesn't, you know how sometimes you get sticks and stems, and when you were a kid, because you don't do that as an adult, because you're an adult and you can not have to deal with sticks and stems, right? Like, that's the whole point of being an adult. Have adult money and do kid shit. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's not harsh like that stick and stem roll from back in the day. It's like, it's got like this aftertaste of like dry smoke. That's probably the best way to put it. An aftertaste of dry smoke. It feels pretty sativa. Like, I feel it more in my shoulders to my head. Yeah, it's pretty good. Gotta say, I'm so far impressed, but like, I'm only probably a third of the way through that. Do you think giraffes have do you think, like, to me, in my brain, a giraffe is always like, hump, what you doing? A hippo would have like a fat guy voice. Like, a hippo would be like, hey, Bob, how are you today, Bob? I'm just gonna go bob in the water, Bob. See what I do with your name, Bob? I don't know. That changed a little, but you know what I mean. Like that, almost like he's chewing on his jowls. Like, so, Bob, how are you doing today, Bob? He's kind of chewing on his jowls. He's like the fat guy eating a chicken wing or a turkey leg and talking to you at the same time. I wonder if what are they called? Not Rottweilers, German Shepherds. I wonder if they're German. Like, I wonder if the voice in their head is like, Hans, Franz, these silly freaks up here think we are going to just eat anybody we see. Like, do you think they're like that? They're like, these stupid animals, we don't want to be biting the people. Do they sound like that? Or are they just like, Tim, sup, bud? Like, they're just regular? Do you think that the breed, no matter where it's born, would have the accent like an Irish setter? Is he Irish? German Shepherd? Is he German? Are there Spanish Terriers? If the Spanish Terrier, does he come in? He's like, hello. That's not right. That's not a name for anything. Or a voice. Jesus. So, my dear, how are you today? I am here to say hello to you. Something like that. I don't know. But in my head, that's how they play out. I also found out that if, like, when I'm thinking in the day, okay, I think in like a voice. My voice, I don't know if it's my voice. I think it's my projection of what I want my voice to sound like is the voice that I hear in my head. And it's like, it doesn't commentate the whole day, but it'll like, when you come up with an idea, right? You're like, hey, you want a popsicle. Like your brain saying that to you. And like that, what am I saying? That's the voice that I hear. So sometimes I'll have a thought. And the voice will say it in my head. Other times I won't recognize a thought, but I'll see like a picture of what it is that I want to do, And I found out that people that think, that have an inner narrator there's not a lot, like there's more people that I think that I've read see a picture. I'm getting high now. I hope you're high. But they see a picture as opposed to hearing a commentary. I hear a commentator telling me the things that I'm doing. Even sometimes it does narrate. Like I remember one day I was walking into work and I got out of the car and my brain's like, okay, we're going inside, walking to the store, opening the door. And then I went inside. I was like, packing up the shelves. Like, I don't know if it's just the mood that I'm in that happens, but it happens. Okay? But for the most part, I think in words. Do animals think in moos and barks and like a chimp? Okay? They're relatively human. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're pretty fucking close. So I wonder if their screeches are just like, hey, John, I'm over here. It's Steve. How you doing, buddy? And they have this like really wicked, weird, loud screech, but they're just being like, hi, how are you? Imagine, monkeys are like, they're the UFC fighter. Well, not even. They're like the UFC fighters of the jungle. Like, I feel like a monkey could kill a lion. No? Maybe a pack of monkeys. And when they're talking, do they hear in like, their brain processes different like like they just hear the sound like hoo, 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 or ha, ha, ha. Like that's what they hear in their brain, or is that translated to Steven says we're almost out of bananas, so we've got like let's see here, 6 days worth. Someone's gonna have to run into the middle of the jungle and visit that one banana tree because we're gonna need more, is that how it's translated? Because if it's not, or if it is, then there's the possibility that you could learn to better communicate with your dog. And people say dogs don't know like 250 words. So they can understand like sit, heel, stand, come, stay, stop, let's play. I don't know. I said something to Callie the other day. That's my dog. And I said a whole sentence and like she knew what it meant because she did it. And I've told her like get off the couch and she's like, nah, don't know what you're saying, buddy. And then I said like, hey, don't eat my shoes, and she was like, okay. So she understood that sentence and she knows get off the couch. She was obviously just ignoring it. But like, they must hear in that voice then, right? Or does that, if they start to understand human and the human is like, hey, let's go rob a liquor store. And then that gets translated into like Scooby-Doo's talking to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm it would be funny if that were the case. It would also be super annoying because then that means that you can learn how to do things, but like, who can teach you how to learn bark or moo? I guess if you're around a cow enough, you start to understand what the different moos mean, right? Like, I have a cat and she has like these different meows, and the different meows are you could tell what they are. So like, I'm in the kitchen one day and she comes up and she meows at me, and I know if it's like she's out of food, she needs water, or if it's her litter box is just we've neglected it, you know. There's different pitches for those meows. I really want to. Do you think that with the invention of AI and the growth of AI, that you could possibly end up at some point being able to understand what your pet says to you? Like, that could potentially open up all new business, because, like, you know, slaughterhouses could have like preachers that come out that are like there to like bless the chickens, because now they understand what the chickens are thinking, and like right before they go. You know, same thing with like cows. I bet you if that were the case and you could understand a cow's thought when he was going up the conveyor to become a hamburger patty, I bet you that we would find maybe some other ways to do some things a lot faster than we do right now, you know? I often think that my cat is talking to me in like the most evil princess way. Like, if she was a human, she would be one of Cinderella's stepsisters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's a nice enough cat, don't get me wrong. But there's some things that she does. Like, the other day she shat on the floor because I didn't realize this, but um I had bought cat litter that sucked. It didn't clump up. It just got wet and moist. So after like a week of obviously peeing in this thing, it had got really bad. So I didn't realize this. And the cat refused to go in there, and then she kept meowing at me, but I thought it was like I thought it was for food. And it didn't make a lot of sense, and it had only been a week, and like not even a week, like within the first week that I bought this stuff. Anyway, turns out that the whole thing was saturated, and she was pissed off because cats don't like that, apparently. I mean, I get it. But so then she shat right out front of my bedroom door and was like, because she was staying upstairs a lot, and she was like, "Ha, take that, bitch." And then she kept doing it until finally I figured it out and dialed in. Or no, I fixed it, and then she did it like 2 more times after that, I think, to still like just get back at me. Yeah, she's something else. So I feel like she has a human voice that is very like Cinderella stepsister-esque, you know? That's my thought. And I don't think she's thinking in her brain like meows. I think it's like a stroke patient where in your head as an animal, you hear it in like whatever language it is you speak, like English, German, whatever. Okay, or with no English with the accent of the place that you're from. So like if you're a cow, all cows are like moo, like they have the well today pilgrim, you know, like they're all John Wayne. That's the accent that I picture on them, or like a deep South accent. But they're all like that, and then they just like when they go to talk to you, they can't get it out any other way than just moo. So they hear this whole like, you know, monologue of thought in their head that plays out, and then when they go to talk to you, it's just moo. Do you think animals are just straight up frustrated that they can't fucking explain what the hell's going on in their brain and what they want, and they're reliant on, for the most part, if you're a pet, humans to get them stuff that are just like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, you know? Yeah, I know it's dumb. Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. Those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. I hope you come back next week. Join me, Justin Barone, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, YouTube, Pandora, Good Pods, everywhere you get a podcast. It's out there. And check out tots420.com. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell people that you think, like, if you get a laugh out of this, you know, definitely do all those things. But then also, like, let other people know, you know, so they can share in the joy. I'm all about the joy, baby. It's nonsense. I know that. That's the point. Okay? Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope everything goes well for you for the next week. Yeah. Until next time, Keep your lids low, baby.